Hey folks, Bardo here. Sometimes watching other people do things gives us ideas for how we could do it. I watch tons of other YouTube videos to see how to, make macaroni and cheese in the Instapot, install laminate flooring, or edit videos. Now, maybe I'm a weirdo, but I like to watch other people play Forge of Empires. So here is a video of my latest gameplay session for whatever it might be worth to you. All right, here we go. Well, Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bardo coming at you with my very first video of 2025. I'm really looking forward to it. I took a few weeks off for the holidays, but now I'm back at it and ready to go. I'm particularly interested because with my initial first little tranche of funding I got after the channel got monetized, I'm reinvesting back into the channel. I'm doing it for your benefit, folks. I got a Miyano PD400X microphone. So this is actually first time using it. I'm not an audio guy. I really honestly have no freaking idea how to do all these settings and everything. So if the sound quality is horrible, let me know. If you have a suggestion as to what I could do to improve the settings, let me know that too. Now, for this particular video, what I wanted to do, actually do something a little bit different. I wanted to do kind of an edited, typical gameplay session. I got a lot of stuff that I kind of need to do. And I thought, you know what, let me just record some of this. I can edit it down out of respect for your time. But I wanted to kind of go through those things. And I just wanted to give a little bit of a look. It's a new year, and I wanted to give kind of an overview of the state of the game, right? So not only talk about kind of like what is going on with the game in general, but also just kind of where I'm at. I figured January should be a pretty good month to do that, right? As we start a new year. So let's get right into this. Let's start with I got some Quantum Incursions that I need to go ahead and do. Let me go ahead and do some of these fights now. I don't know how much you guys are doing Quantum Incursions. I have gotten to the point where I have really enjoyed this aspect of the game. Now it takes some time because, as you can see, like I'm doing these manual fights, and I feel like that's, at least as far as where I'm at with the strength of my military, like I need to do these manually to save as many troops as possible. Obviously, utilizing, losing a lot of troops and harvesting those, it's expensive. So out of, an effort to try to maximize the amount of, troops that I have, I do these fights manually, at least, to kind of get started. And then once the battle gets to a place where it looks like I'm in pretty good shape, then I'll auto battle from here, like I'm doing just for this last dude. But in Quantum Incursions, like what I'm noticing is it's just a super important thing to always be aware of your quantum action number up here. You don't want that to just be sitting at 100k. You want it to continue to generate quantum actions for you. So always pay attention to that and think about, when you're going to play, when you're going to do some battles. You don't, you just don't want that, because then if it gets to 100, then it won't load anymore for you, right? So you always want to be aware of that. I just feel like, and part of why I'm just really enjoying Quantum Incursions, man, the rewards are so freaking good. I mean, there goes a ballista. But the rewards, all the Neo fragments that you get, are really, those are great, buildings to add to your city. And so the more that you can get those fragments and get the Neo Colossus, the Neo Kings, the Neo Queens, just the more you can get. And one thing that's great about those is when those are leveled up, they don't need roads. So you can put them wherever you need to in the city. That's not the case for like the lower level. That's for the Colossus. Those are only need roads for those when they're at the lower levels. Once it's fully leveled, you don't need a road. But the queens, the kings, look, 50 fragments, neo kings, and look, I'm nearing, being able to get another selection kit for those, and I just think those are just incredibly valuable. I feel like the players that just seem to be killing it in Forge of Empires right now, they're big time they're big time Quantum Incursions players. I just think there is definitely a correlation between being, doing a lot of QI and being an elite player for Forge of Empires. So I'm just kind of doing as many of these as I can right now. Again, you can see I'm manually fighting these. Oh, and you know what? Alexa is telling me, I don't know if you guys are like me. Alexa, timer off. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have noticed with GBG battles especially, setting alarms whenever you've got a battle coming up is just a great way to, to not miss out on GBG battles. So Alexa has just alerted me that I got a GBG battle coming up. So we'll stop Quantum Incursions. Let's go back to GBG. I think it's down here. Yeah, look, we got 59 seconds. But okay, so GBG. So my guild, we're Deliberate Chaos. We are, I think it's pretty safe to say. I mean, I think we're the #1 guild in Langendorn. I am one of maybe what do we have? 77 members of the guild. I'm not one of the elite fighters. I'm pretty good. You can see up here what my military stats are. So, I'm pretty good, but I definitely, we got a lot of players now that like their regular attrition rates are anywhere from like 150 to over 200, which I think is insane. I'm nowhere near there. I cannot get there. I am in OF right now. I've only been here like 3 weeks. And I am definitely, I'm doing really good if I can get my attrition up to maybe 120, 130, and then it just really gets to the point where I'm losing a ton of troops. Now, in this particular sector, this is a take. You can see it marked as a take. It's not a hold, so we can go all the way on this. I do love the new interface for GBG. I talked about this a few videos ago. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant that they set it up to where these buttons overlap each other, so you can just keep your cursor right here in the same place. For those of you that are playing on PC, you don't even have to move your cursor, especially if you do like I do, which I don't know if you guys knew this could be a hot tip of the week actually, but did you know that if you play on a keyboard, you don't have to go over here, like when you need to replace your troops, you don't need to move over to click that. Keep your finger on the R key on your keyboard, and just when you need to replenish your troops, like right now I just lost a rogue, let's replenish, I just hit R on my keyboard. I don't even have to move my cursor over. So there's a hot tip of the week for you. Kind of snuck that in there. But yeah, for those of you that are playing on PC, that is a huge tip, I think, because that's going to save you time. It's going to give you more fights. Anything that you can do that gives you more fights without actually even improving your military, I think is a good thing to do. So I'm just kind of fighting through these. This is going to be the last battle that we're going to have for a little while. I think we got some other sectors opening up maybe in a half an hour or so, but I'm not going to be on. I'm not going to be making this video at that point. So this is going to be the only example of GBG fighting in this video, and we're just closing it out now. So okay, so we're done. So yeah, we've got some other sectors opening up. Well, this one opens up in 3 minutes. Maybe I'll just kind of pause the video here and hit that here in 3 minutes. All right, so here we go. So this sector is opening up in 5 seconds. So we'll knock this one out, and then this will be the last one for a little while. You can see that this one is a blue sector, right? And you know, ever since, you know, a couple of seasons ago, when they started introducing the blue stats, the defending army stats, it's definitely been interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, I'm sure most players, I'd say the majority of players probably are stronger in red than they are in blue. And so for me, once my attrition starts getting high, you know, in my case, once attrition starts getting around, oh, I don't know, maybe 100, 110, I really can't seem to go much farther than that if it's a blue tile. Red, I can go up to maybe 130, 135. Blue, you know, I just lose too many troops. So, you know, that's the thing that makes a difference. So I'm really putting more of an emphasis on, you know, building up those blue stats. It used to be that those buildings, you know, and actually I've got several in storage that are strong in blue, that they've been in there for a while because you didn't really need them much before. But now that blue is integrated into the GBG military, it's really, you know, quite important. So just another interesting thing that we keep in mind for the game. This one is another take. I don't know how your guilds do it, but whenever, you know, sometimes we want to hold these tiles. I am not an expert when it comes to strategizing, you know, which tiles or hold. You know, I'm not a caller. I'm not a GBG leader for my guild. Just basically trying to do what I'm told, but some tiles are holds and some are takes. This one is indicated with a target symbol, so that is a take for us. So that means we're going all the way to 320 here. So we'll finish this up. Look at that, I lost that one. It's kind of because I'm not really paying any attention to what I'm doing. No harm, no foul. Okay, so that's all for that tile. So that's all we're gonna do for GBG right now. Some of you guys might have found that just boring as heck, but I'm just kind of, again, the purpose of this video, I kind of wanted to kind of go through a typical gameplay session. Now let's go back to QI here. Let's hit these up. I want to use up as many actions as I can right now, and again, I do these manually. So what I might actually do is just kind of speed up the video for the the purposes of not boring you to death. Something maybe to mention to you, just as a strategy that I use, when you have a mixed amount of, you know, different types of units that you're battling, I always try to go for ballistas first. Let's get those knocked out. You want to go for those ones that are kind of rangy. So for me, you know, that's ballistas, that's archers. It's not the light ones, right? It's not the heavy ones. Obviously the horses can cover a lot of ground, so I try to take those out. So I went for the ballistas first, then the horses, and now these are going to be easy to take out, because even when he advances like that, right, he can't get to me. He can't get to me, and now that I'm down to one, I'm just going to automate the remaining fight. But just a little something that's how I usually try to approach it. Now this battle's going to be, I can already tell you, I mean, it's going to be a little bit tough. You got some you're facing some troops that have some range to them. And I'm actually going to switch this out. I'm facing 4 horses, so I'm going to use 3 of my light units. These give a boost in battling, fast units. So I'm going to use those. The number of ballistas I have, I've got some that are banged up a little bit, and I've only got 5 here, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. Now, I can tell you right now, I mean, this is going to be a tougher battle. There is a lot of forest here, so this is good because I get a defensive boost in the forest. I like to try to go there. Now this one though, this is the only tile that I can go to that will give me an attack on a horse. The other ones though, I'm going to try to place, I'm going to put this in the forest here because that's a +4 defense. And this one's going to be a +4 defense. So here comes these archers on their side. They're going to start nailing my light units. So, okay, now we're going to go after these horses. I'm gonna lose a unit or 2 here. I can already tell. Let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. And I've only got 1 more hit, and then they're gonna have 2 guys. So yeah, I'm gonna lose. Let's go after this guy. Now they're gonna. Okay, I still didn't lose a troop. Let's get rid of this horse because look, he's the next one. I'm gonna move this guy here on a hill because that gives me a boost. Okay, so that guy's gone. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay, that actually worked out well. I did lose 1 light unit there. That's fine. I really try to preserve more than anything my ballistas right now. I think ballistas are the best. I try to use them as much as possible. Now for this group, I'm gonna use all ballistas against these. And I'm going to try to take out their ballistas first. I also, too, look down here. Okay, this one is the next one. You can see down here. It's the next one that's going to fight. So let's get rid of him. And then let's get this one. Sometimes the ballistas, when they're positioned up here, they can't get down there. So just go for the next most threatening one. This is the part where you start to back your guys up a little bit. And I try to put him on a hill. So there's hills right here. So I can just move him 1 spot. Whenever you can get these ballistas on a hill, that gives him a boost. Now we're down to 1. So now I'm just going to automate the rest of it. This is kind of the pattern that I use. Always love to hear from you guys. Tips that you have, other strategies that you have. Here's another very varied group of different types of opponents. So again, try to get rid of these ballistas. One guy left, so we'll automate it. Man, that's tough. I lost 2 ballistas there. That's not great. That's not great. All right, so that's probably enough quantum incursions for now. You can see I've got this down to 11,000. So, I'll have some more fights a little bit later on, but that will allow my troops to heal up a little bit and allow me to build up some more action. So let's go back to the city here. I think I mentioned before, oh look, and now you can see it's time for me to collect my city. I'm not going to do that right now. I think I mentioned before, I am in OF right now. So for those of you that have been through OF, you know that, man, when you get there, you're really focused on almost one thing, and that is gathering orichalcum. You need so much orichalcum, it's kind of hard to get. So let's do this next. Let's go down, and I'm ready to collect my Oceanic Terminal here. I got 123 orichalcum for that, and let's get it ready to send back out. I'm still at the point of the tech tree that I only have 3 crew members to send out, so I'm going to go ahead and select those. I always try to shoot for the ones that really I'm just looking at the amount of orichalcum they're going to bring back. The rest of the ones that are available right now don't give it an orichalcum bonus, so I'm going to exchange these. You can basically do it once, and it was a good move to do that, because now this one I can put in for 10, and then this one gives a +3. So we will select those. We are not going to send the ship yet. We're going to go up to the ship because it needs to be repaired. So we're going to repair that, and we're going to send this bad boy out. And then we need to do the same thing over here, the Arctic Harbor. It's ready to collect for the Promethium. It gave me 119. I feel like I've already getting to the point where I've got a lot of Promethium. I'll be ready to go for that once I'm ready to age up out of OF. It's really, I'm focused on the orichalcum right now, but still I do want to get as much Promethium as possible. There's a +9. Here's a +8. See, 2 more. So we will exchange the remaining ones out. And here is a +4 and a +8, or a wait, this one can be leveled. So let's go ahead and level that one up. Now it's a +5. So we'll hire that one. We will repair the ship. And arrivederci. Bon voyage. There it goes. Now let's talk for a minute about my settlement. So the settlement I'm working on right now is Vikings. There we go. I need to collect that. Let me go back to the city. I just want to show you kind of what my strategy has been as of late for the settlements. So I have 2 fully leveled settlement buildings. I've got the Ascended Sun Temple here, and you can see there's 19 days. I've got 19 days until it drops down to being regular. And then my Yggdrasil, it is not ascended right now. That's why I'm working on the Viking settlement so that I can upgrade that. I'm a few days away from finishing that, but I wanted to point this out because my strategy basically has been this. I'm kind of going back and forth between, once I finish the Viking settlement and I upgrade this, then I need to go back to Aztec and I start working to get this, because then by the time that this thing, 19 days from now, it downgrades. And so hopefully I can finish Viking in time to start Aztec and get it done in time, so that I don't want to have lengthy periods of time where either one of these are downgraded, right? Like I try to keep it to where I just minimize the amount of time I have any either one of these downgraded. I do have over here, I've got there it is, the Royal Bathhouse. It's only a level 3. I would love to get that thing built back up, or built all the way up, fully upgraded. I'm sure that the ascended version of that is just absolutely badass. I know that it will take a long time to do that. And with my strategy of going back and forth between Vikings and Aztecs right now, man, I just don't have the time to do it. So it's something I think about. But yeah, I'd love to have that leveled all the way up too. So let's go back up here. You guys know how these are. You're trying to, you don't want to waste time. You don't want to waste time with stuff not being collected. So let me get these collected. Certainly it helps if you get I let these run overnight. So these are the 10-hour ones or 8-hour ones. You want to get a 4 times. I didn't get a quadruple bonus on any of those. That's fine. So I'll come back in an hour. Let's set these for 5 hours. Okay, and that's it for that. I think you guys know the FoE helper down here has the settlement overview, which is super helpful. It shows you how close I am. I got a long way to go. Look at all these horns. I need to gather 280 horns, so it is going to be several more days until I can get through this. But there's where I'm at with the settlement. I do need to collect my city, but before I start thinking about that, I have been trying to pay more attention to the PvP up here. I know the rewards are not great for it. I'm currently, look, I'm number 1 in my age of OF for PvP right now. So I want to try to keep that going. So let's deplete these, because again, just like with the quantum, the actions, you don't want these maxed out. It's just like with your forge point bar. Right now, it's fully maxed out for me, and I'm not earning forge points for that. So you guys that have been playing the game, you're going to be, you're just going to do better if you keep these things. You don't want these maxed out. So let me go ahead and fight these. Okay, that's one thing that I do like about PvP. It just takes a couple of minutes to get those down. The rewards for this aren't great, but it is a way to just take advantage of another feature in the game. Now, some of you guys might be wondering about GE. I have finished GE. Our guild, we finished it up pretty early, and we had some. Look at this competition we had for this season. I mean, today is Saturday morning. So we still got a couple more days, and you had, all these guilds that really kind of made a push for it. But we finished it. We recognized that it was a race early on, and so we everybody in the guild tried to have their GE done by Thursday morning, and so we're going to win it. Now, the last main thing I need to do in this session is collect my city here. And before I do that, so I've got this little routine that I usually use. The first thing I usually do is a mass self-aid kit, just to aid all the buildings that aren't aided yet. Before I do that, though, I want to show you something. So an example is this. Okay, so if we look down here at this Didic Delight, right? This is a building that we got with the last event. And the important part of this building is that 50% of the time there, you can see it gives you the Yukamoto Tower selection kits. So I have 2 of these. And so when I'm collecting my city now, like that's one of the things that I'm looking to see if I am actually, if it's, if I'm going to hit on one of those 50%. Now, I don't know that, though, until I mass self-aid it, right? Because if you use your Blue Galaxy helper here, and, you pull it up and you see, if you look at the stars here, you see which ones have been aided. But I'm going to go ahead and do a mass self-aid. It wasn't, the Yukamoto, the Didic Delight, it wasn't showing up on that yet. Right? So I don't know if it's going to give me those fragments yet or not. I need to go ahead and mass self-aid it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Get the kit. Mass ass. Mass ass. Yeah, let's find the mass ass kit. Mass self-aid. Okay, and there's 121 buildings yet that haven't been aided. So we're going to use that. Now, when we go down here, and you can see it's been aided, and when we go up here to the Blue Galaxy helper, we should be able to find it. Now, it's still not showing up. It's going to give me, let me move this. It's going to give me, I aided it, so it's going to give me, I'm going to get 7 forge points from it. When I go here to the Blue Galaxy helper tool, and this is sorted right here by forge points. And it's not showing up there. Now, I'm not I don't know why. I mean, I really don't know why. I mean, it's definitely going to give me at least 7 forge points here, but it's not showing up in the helper, which really, I can't explain that, because it would be helpful to know whether this is going to give me the Yukamoto selection kit. And at this point, I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and collect the city. Now, the other thing I want to mention about the Blue Galaxy Helper tool is that it generally is really helpful in telling you, what you're going to get. Another good example of that is the Aegean Garden Resort. You can see, now I have 2 of those. They're right here. I have 2 of them side by side, and you can see that 25% of the time it'll give 107 forge points, and 25% of the time it'll give you the 13 fragments of finished special productions, which is really nice. So it's really awesome when those 2 things are happening in one collection, because then when you get the Blue Galaxy double on that, you're getting a lot of forge points and a lot of finished special productions. Now, one of these 2 is going to give me the 107, but when you click the little eyeball here, it'll show you which one it is. So it's the second one down, right? So that's definitely going to be one of the ones that I'm going to collect. So in my little routine, I do the mass self-aid kit. I've already done that. I also, though, like to use one of my 100% coin boosts. So let's fire that up. Okay, now I'm ready to collect. Now, I did a video on this a few weeks ago. It was one of the last videos I did, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time, and I don't want to bore you to death. It's already been a long video, so I'll probably speed through this and not explain every single thing that I'm doing. When I'm collecting for my city now, I'm not necessarily always just going for the things that are going to give me the most forge points. I now have 3 level 10 Neo Colossus. I have 1 level 11. Now, I always use my Blue Galaxy on those because I'm trying to get as many of these Neo Marble Gateway fragments as possible. Now, my level 11 Neo Colossus will give me 30 of those. So I'm definitely going to use a Blue Galaxy. Oh, I gotta spin these down. My bar is full, so I got to spin those down. I'm going to dump those on my AO, which I can't do it just by clicking on it because I'll get the same message. So I'm going to dump it on my AO. You know what they've done? They have recently added this button. It used to be when you click a great building that, it used to just give you the cancel. Like if you do that up here for a building that's not a great building, you just get this. But if you go to a great building, they've now added this button right here that says enter the great building. What you used to have to do, I used to have to go down here and find myself, go into my great buildings, and then get into it that way. They've added this button. This is a new thing. It's a little thing, but it's just a little thing that'll help. So let's go ahead and spin those. The other thing, you know what? Sometimes when I have plenty of time, I will set up my recurring quests to where they're going to where I'll maximize those when I'm doing my collections. Today, though, especially since I'm doing this video while I'm collecting, I'm not gonna try to take advantage. I'm gonna try to do this fairly quickly. So I'm not going to do this every time, but usually though, I will align this up to where I have spend forge points and coins. Those open up to where once I start collecting, I can start getting some of those rewards. So I'm going to start off with the level 11 Neo Colossus, and that's one that I really wanted to see double, right? Because just then I got 60 fragments of the Neo Marble Gateway. So that's a good one. I'm up to 80, so I can do one more. I'll do a large one. That did not fire. Now I'm ready to dump these back in the Great Building. Dumping them in my AO. I'm really trying to build that bad boy up. I'm up to 160 now, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I mean, heck, it takes 46,000 forge points now to level it up, but I'm just going to keep going. Go ahead and collect that. Gonna do my other Neo Colossus. That one did not double. I've only got 2 Blue Galaxy charges left, and I think I'm going to use them when you pull this up and see what's left. I'd mentioned the Aegean Garden Resorts. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use it for that one. And remember, identified, it's the second one down, so it's this one right here. So let's get that one. And that did double, so that's great. Let's dump those. I'm not going to worry about my recurring quest. The last one I think I'm going to do is this one right here. Right here. My level 2 Thunder Drake Citadel, and it did double. Awesome. So that's a good finish there. So yeah, so at this point in time, I've used all my Blue Galaxy charges. I am not going to collect all of these manually. I'm going to spend 5 diamonds right here and collect all finished productions. But before I do that though, let me go ahead and set up my recurring quests. I know I'm going to get a ton of coins and supplies, so you might as well just take a moment and set this up to where you see, so there's 900. Let's go ahead and put this one on the coin quest. Because that's a guaranteed, you're definitely going to get that. So I'm going to spend my diamonds. Now, city collection is done. And by the way, for those of you that haven't watched my channel before, you'll see this over here on the side. This is my FoE info extension that I've got on Chrome. And gosh, collecting the city there, it's always kind of fun to look over here and see just a little run through of, man, look at all the stuff that I just got. Alright, so we did some GBG, we did some Quantum Incursions. I went down here and sent my ships out and collected some Promethium and some Orichalcum. Worked on my settlement up here a little bit, collected the city. So before we wrap this up, I just did want to make just some general observations and comments about just the game in general. I think the game's going great. Is it a perfect game? It is not a perfect game. There's things about it that do need to be improved, but they're, you know what? I think they're working on those things. They're making those quality of life improvements. One of them is just coming up here, I think just here in a few days. I think actually on Monday. And it's going to be the aid all taverns. I just showed, we can do the aid all here, but not the aid taverns, but the visit all taverns. Looking forward to that. See, they're doing things like that just to make just little quality of life things. But as far as like the features in the game, I think Quantum Incursions was a nice addition to the game. Some people don't like it, and that's cool. That's fine. But it's a different, it's a different way to play the game, because you have to really maximize it. I think it makes sense to do manual fighting in that, unless you're just like super strong, like your Quantum Incursions military is super strong. If it is, you probably can auto battle through that quite a bit. But I just think they've made some good improvements. The things are still interesting. I I am still enjoying the game, but again, there are things that need to be reworked. The antiques dealer is a mess. I mean, I think for players that are earlier on in the game, the antiques dealer can be helpful. You can get in here and get some things that will help your city. But if you've been playing the game for any period of time, then I mean, very rarely do I ever even go in here anymore, because just the things that are available are not going to help your city. And since you're not buying things in the antique dealer, there's really no reason to sell things in the antique dealer. So very rarely do I put anything in there. But I think I've heard that they're going to improve that. I hope that they do, but the game is still fun. It's still interesting to me. I know one of the major criticisms is the issues centered around power creep. The new event buildings that are coming out are just way too powerful. Okay. I mean, I've probably provided some criticism on that as well. But if you really think about this, you have to have the next event buildings need to be better. You need to have that carrot dangling in front of you. I totally get that. Like, why would you keep playing the game and playing the next event if the buildings that are coming out aren't any better than what you've got in your city? They obviously need to be better. So I'm just not super critical of the power creep that is occurring in the game. It is an issue, and I think that NO is acknowledging that. They're aware of it, obviously. But I think the game is still very, very strong, and I'm definitely still enjoying making these videos. The fact that I've got almost 1,500 subscribers, and I'm really, honestly, guys, I'm hoping that this video maybe puts me over that 1,500 mark. So if you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, man, I really would appreciate that. You don't know how much it means to me every time I look and see, hey, I got a new subscriber. It really motivates me to keep going and creating content for you guys. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. This has been probably the longest video I've ever done. I don't know, once I edit this, maybe it's not quite as long, but yeah, really appreciate you guys hanging in there. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this video, but until next time, my friends, forge on, my friends, forge on. See ya.